Welcome everyone. Marketing strategy development. Exactly, we'll speak upon how to build upon marketing strategy and what drives it. First and foremost thing is the value delivery process. As a marketing person, you need to understand that we are going to charge certain things for all the goods and services that we render for. Now, for this charges, the other customers or the buyers has to put a value to it. If the value matches between the marketers and the buyers, then the transaction happens. So you need to understand the value, choose the value, provide that value, and probably you have that value in you, but you have not communicated it. So yes, it is the value delivery process that a marketing strategy has to perform. That is all about choosing the value, providing the value, and communicating the value of the product, the value of the services. If it is not perceived enough, if it is not perceived as fair by the buyers, here the transactions will never happen, the sales will never happen. So it is a value, essentially a value delivery process wherein you have to define the value and probably articulate the value and definitely communicate the value thereby. So, value chain is a tool for identifying ways to deal with more customer values or probably enhance it. Every firm is a synthesis of activities: perform to design, perform to produce, perform to market, and perform to deliver and supports its services. That is what synthesis of activities is all about it. So we are not only selling a product, but post sales, we are providing these services. We are not only selling the product, but we are ascribing a value and essence that people look up to it as a sense of a social status. That is what we need to design, what we need to produce in terms of quality of the product, and so on and so forth. Essentially, there is something called a primary activities. Primary activities is nothing constrained of inbound logistic operation, outbound logistic. Marketing and sales is what we are concerned about in and the service. Remember, every time there is an activity changes, or if there's a change in hand in the activities from inbound to operation, there has to be a value added. So if inbound, if it is a raw mineral that we're talking about it, giving it to the operation, we are assorting the minerals and probably delivering only the requisite minerals, requisite raw material to the operation. The operation on the other part will transform that thing, your raw materials or the minerals, into the finished product and hand it over to the outbound logistic. Outbound logistic is the person or is the group of people who would actually deliver it to the retail counter or carrier and forwarding agent. So probably they are adding services as a value as a transportation. Now here is marketing and sales where it we need to pitch the product. We need to market the product in terms of packaging, in terms of pricing, in terms of making it as attractive for the end customer. And that is what we will be handing over to the service part. Once the sales occur, post sales services have been given around it. So everything needs to be added to a margin to come arrive at a value. If this is the primary activities, what are the supporting activities? Let's say the firm infrastructure, the human resource management, the quality of manpower, the technological development, the tech skills available, and the procurement thereby. So everything supports inbound, operation, outbound, marketing and sales, and the service thereby. So we need to add an overall perceived value so that the product becomes invaluable to the end customer. The core competencies are source of competitive advantages, applications in extremely all cases of market. You name the scenario and it is there. Difficult for competitors to imitate. Now, if you have certain core competencies where nobody can copy, if you have a core competency that puts you in a different league altogether, or probably if your product or services as a core competency has an appeal to the mass market, your business is sure to flourish. That is what we need to go mean by competitive advantage. Applications to wide variety of market and difficult to imitate as the case might be. Central role of strategic planning, managing business as an investment portfolio, assessing the market growth rate and the company's position in the market as on when on basis. Based upon this, as an investment portfolio and the growth rate, you have to design a strategy, you have to implement a strategy, you have to upgrade a strategy so that you reach your end customers, so that your product or services appeal to them, they can experience it and probably make a purchase around it. So marketing plan is all about being strategic and tactical. So what is strategic? Strategic is longer time horizon. Let's say we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in terms of years. But when it is tactical, what do we do? We are again talking for shorter term time duration. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in months, not in years. So strategic, if it is in years, tactic would be always in months. In the shorter time duration that we goes around it, the activities that we take places so that our product, our services makes an appeal, makes goes out and reaches the end customers perhaps. So marketing plan, does it contains? It contains an executive summary of what exactly is the objective, the table of content, as what are the varieties of options that is coming around it, what are the features that the product has, what are the facilities that the customer will enjoy, situation analysis, marketing strategy, marketing tactics. Remember, strategy on a longer term, tactics on a shorter duration, financial projections and implementation and control. Now, this is marketing plan content as the case might be. Strategic planning, implementation, and control process. What are we looking into it? In planning, it is all about corporate planning, right at the top of an organization, division planning, probably on a functional levels. Then comes a business level. This is on a unit level. Remember, when I say division planning, it can be finance, it can be operation, it can be supply chain. But when it comes to a business planning, let's say geolocation A, geolocation B, geolocation C. It can be the location can be replaced by a region, a country, a continent, you name it, and we can have it. Last but not the least is your product planning, actual product that goes around it. So is it a mass appeal product? Is it a niche product that we are catering to? So we need to decide upon it as on when on basis. This after planning is done, we come to implementation or the execution part of organizing and executing. Once executed, the last thing that needs to be addressed is controlling. What do we control? Anything that can be measured can be controlled. Diagnosing result, taking corrective action is what the plan of the day should be all around here. Corporate and division strategic planning, defining the corporate mission, establishing strategic business unit, assigning resources to each SBU, strategic business unit, assessing growth opportunities, as in what can be done. So this is what corporate mission is all about. Now, defining the corporate mission, you need to understand what is your business, who is your customer, does it bring any value to the customer? Remember, this is the most important question. Value to the customer. So, what will be our businesses to deliver a quality product, to deliver values, to deliver value for money? What should be the business be? If you can answer such questions, definitely you are way ahead than your competitors. So establishing a SBU, what do we go around? A single business or a collection of related business? Has its own sets of competitors, has a leader responsible for strategic planning and profitability. That is what is required. Do you establish a strategic business unit because of only one product or a host of similar products? Does your competitor has a presence in that scenario, in that market, in that location? Does it make sense, or is anybody there who's going to responsibly take responsibility for profitability and effective execution of whatever has been planned for it? So you need to establish strategic business unit, keeping these things in mind, and probably the growth opportunity. Remember, when we plot on an y-axis the sales and on the x-axis the time, you will see the growth that goes around here from 0 years to 1 year to 2 year to 3 year. If it is on the lower side, the current portfolio is intensive growth, you are growing on your own, you probably not taking any help, probably word of mouth uh, facility marketing has been done. It's an intensive growth that is going around. You are concentrating on your customer satisfaction, on the quality of the product, probably the services. But what happens if you want to go to the other higher rung? It has to be integrative growth. Not only your customer satisfaction is important, not only your quality of product is important, but then communication, promotion is also important. And this is what integrative growth is all about. It last but not least would be your diversification growth. If you see the higher rung, that is what the desired result is all about. It herein, not only you have the customer satisfaction in focus, not only the marketing communication in focus, but also the quality of the product in focus. But what else? You are going to increase the product length, the product breadth, increase the customer base, and that is what diversification growth is all about. It remember, from intensive growth to integrative growth and diversification growth, the sales quadruples many amount times. That is what strategic planning gap is all about. It you have to dedicate your time and decide what marketing strategies development needs to take place. Intensive growth strategies of Ansoff. Ansoff is the gentleman who actually came up with this grade of product market expansion. We have the current market and new market vis-a-vis the current product and the new product. When the market and the products are current, it is just the penetration strategies that goes around it. How can we infiltrate the market as such? But when the products are current but the market is new, so you need to groom the audience, groom the customers, allow them to experience your services, your product. That is what I say market development strategy. Similarly, when it is a new product and a new market, everything is new to you. It's a diversification strategy. The product is unknown to you. Definitely, you might have come up with it with R&D. The market is new to the product, because since you are new to the product, the market has to be new to the product. It's a diversification strategy that you're going around it. So that is where the challenge comes in. But what happens when the product is new and the market is current? As in, we know the market, we know the audience, we know the customer, but the product that we are launching is absolutely new. So we need to educate the customer, we need to educate the audiences. As a result, it's a market development, or should I say product development strategy that comes around it. What can be done? So the business units, the strategic planning process is simple. Remember, the business mission is in focus, and that business mission actually drives your the whole process altogether. Now, how do we come to that business mission? First and foremost thing, you need to analyze the internal environment, your strengths and your weakness, the external environment, the opportunities and threats that has been available. Based upon this, you need to match your goal. That is what goal formulation and strategy formulation leads to. From strategy formulation, other program formulation and implementation takes place, which ultimately comes down to feedback and control. This is the most important thing that comes around it. We need to always make the starting point out here, the SWOT analysis. The internal environment is strength and weakness. The internal environment is strength and weakness, whereas the external environment is an opportunities and threat. The opportunities and threat, strength and weaknesses tells what are you good at as an organization, what are the things that you need improvement. Similarly, in an external organization, what are the opportunities available? Is it changing? Is the taste of the market changing? Is the preference changing? What are the threats thereby? Do you have a big player? Do you have a competitor who has got immense muscle, so you need to play them off? So the generic strategy, basically marketing strategies, and this is Philip Kotler. If the audience are not available, not aware of it, gentleman of Philip Kotler says about three strategies. Number one is overall cost leadership. Can you make product the cheapest way? If it is the cheapest way, automatically you can sell the product at a cheap rate than your competitors. As simple as possible. That's an overall cost leadership. Then comes differentiation. Now, differentiation, you might have a product, The competitors do have a product, but can you have that product in a variety of ways, in a differentiated way? Let's say in terms of a shampoo, can it comes in a different flavors? In terms of let's say again continue with shampoos, can it comes in different sizes? Whereas your competitors might not be thinking. So you need to chip that block. You need to address to every segment of the market, and that is what differentiation is all about. It. So overall cost leadership, bringing down the cost. Differentiation, increasing the product range. Then comes the focus. Can we focus either on the product or on the customer? This too will actually catapult the marketing strategy or the company's profitability in a higher range. Focus on the product means good quality product. Focus on the product means a premium product. Focus on the market or things would be a niche product. Only few people who are going to be available. If that is the case, the profit is good enough. If it is the focus is on the mass market, again it will be a number. The percentage of profit per unit might be small, but overall it might accumulate into a sizable number. So you need to have this strategic formulation that is of overall cost leadership, differentiation, focus. And with this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the end.